How you doing? There's always a project or 15 going on here at T's Good Times Garage. And if I don't trip over things. You might be asking yourself, what's this? This menagerie right here. What are these sawhorses doing? I need a workbench. So my charger doesn't have to be a bench. So what I have here is actually reclaimed home-built shelving that I had out in the main garage of the house. I'm taking that out. I'm repurposing back here. I just have to, one, build a little bit longer, chunk to tie into it, and then build some legs, a lower shelf. So I have a work area, a place to store a few things down below. And then, honestly, I'm going to start hanging some hand tools, hammers, hand saws, miscellaneous. I'm going to get started. Alright, so I've built me a new piece to extend the bench basically. And I'm using 3-inch grabber screws on all this stuff. I could do it with nails too, but I don't know. I think things like this, shelves, benches, I've had good luck with screwing them together. Been really nice. So we've got the extension built in, and I actually think I'm going to add, a couple more, probably 3 more cross braces in here. So right now I'm kind of messing with the height of the bench. I don't know about you guys, but most of the benches, so-called standard height, always seems a little low to me. Let's see. Let's mess around here, shall we? Blah 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 blah. I think standing, this is actually a pretty good height. Guess the question would be, is it good for sitting? Can I sit here and work on things? Carburetor? Looks like it. That's a pretty nice height. I don't mind that. That's a really good height. Now, however, what if we try to work on a bicycle? Oh, give me a minute. Nope, there you go. This bike is in my queue of projects, so to speak. Sitting? Probably not. Might be slightly high for that, but that's okay. Bicycles are multi-workable, multi-place workable. So I think I'm going to measure that and then fine-tune it side to side and start to build some legs. So the exterior legs are rough cut at this point, and the front's semi-screwed in at the moment. I broke a couple of my bits for the drill, so I'm going to have to get me some new bits. I think that's where I'm going to pause for tonight. But as far as the video is concerned, we'll be back to it in mere seconds. And we're back. Had to go to the Lowe's and get some bits. Man, these bits that I got, they're pretty cool. They work very well. I was going to show them to you, but I can't seem to find them. Oh, here they are. So they're just DeWalt's. They work really well in these grabber style screws. I finished all of the legs and built a shelf down here on the bottom. And it's just me measuring, cutting, drilling, countersinking, screwing, all that stuff. So I didn't figure to bore you too much with that. So just a little bit of note on the construction. This thing is about 11 feet long. Really, that was just the space I wanted it to occupy. You could do this, obviously, for whatever length that you have available to you. So this is built entirely out of 2x4, mostly scrap and some wood remnant from a shelf I deconstructed, clearing that and all my automotive hoarding to bring back here to the to Mopar Haus. That's a big part of why I needed a bench. Obviously a little extra storage space. We're gonna put random things down there, probably mostly engine parts, smalls, carburetors, I don't know, things like that. And then on top, definitely planning on having a project or two going at a given time and a flat space to work on it. So I think the only thing that we did not reuse or recycle on this were the actual screws themselves. And lucky for me, I didn't actually have to buy any. I had a box of screws from a previous project. So at this point, I've just got nothing but my time into this bench. So I'm pretty happy about that. And really, it was not that difficult to get to this point for me. I'm definitely not, you know, a framer or a carpenter or anything by trade. My dad would say I'm just a wood butcher. So we do what we can. If we can read a tape measure and run a saw, you know, if you can do that, then you can build this. You know, measure once. No, wait. I say measure once, cut 14 times, or is it measure twice, cut once? Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. So I guess that's part of why I'm doing this here on video as well. I'm sure if you had a few scrap pieces laying around, or maybe, you know, you found some in the local classified, somebody was giving away for free, pick it up, make yourself a bench. Here you are. Bada bing, bada boom. In any case, we do still have a little bit more work to do on it. I do plan on hitting it with a sander, and I wanted to paint it as well. So plan on painting the entire, you know, back wall here, painting the entire bench. And I do still have to sheet. Time to do the fat guy test. How you doing? Sorry. Let's see. How would one strike a pose on their workbench? Hey. This is too much. I apologize. I'm happy with that. And I have sheets now cut in place. And again, going with the reclaimed wood theme. And nothing's fastened down yet. It's just fit in place. And I am going to hit this with a sander, try and smooth things out. Probably even fill in some of these nail holes, staple holes. I think these have been reclaimed twice now. And boom. Paint. And thanks to my pops, he had some gallons of random white paint in his basement, and he said, yeah, screw this, I'm not painting anything. He gave me the paint. Thanks, Pops. And this chipboard, wafer board, whatever you want to call it, man, it really sucks up the paint. So there's a full 2 coats on this wall, and several other touch-ups, rollovers, whatever, to fill in the light spots. And so here at this point, I've got 1.5 gallons into just this wall and my bench. And I was a little worried about the paint, honestly. It had been opened. And so when I opened the cans, every ingredient was separated. So it seemed. But it all mixed up. It turned to paint again. It looked, at least it appeared to be paint again. So we applied it. The bottom shelf completely screwed in. Now I just need to, well, I've got the top fastened down too. Now I just need to go through it and fill some of these imperfections in it. And then I'll run the sander over the top of it for the last time, and I'm gonna paint it. This is fresh, guys. I just finished rolling this seconds ago. And I know you didn't really care to see me do that, but that's what I did. I did some spot putty in some spots, and yeah, I forgot that spot. And then sanded that nice and smooth and painted it. Apparently I'm still painting it. Alright, stop it. I'm not looking for perfection. I never intended that to be the case. If that was the case, I wouldn't have used repurposed lumber. Alright. So we're done. Except for the paint drying part. And we're not going to stick around to watch that happen. We're going to call it a night, and we're going to let that happen on its own. Probably going to take the better part of tonight, tomorrow, just because it is colder. But let's do that. Let's wrap this up. We've got a workbench. As soon as this dries, I'm going to start loading it up with parts and miscellaneous and start tinkering. The next bit, though, we'll be looking to hang some tools on the wall, maybe build a little shelf for some of my racing mementos. Now that the bench is completed, the aftermath. This always happens after a project. I've got a lot of cleaning to do, but I'm gonna wait for the paint to dry before I start. You can do this. If you need a bench, figure out how big of a space you have, measure that up, find some repurposed lumber. If you can read the tape measure and run a saw, run a drill, sink screws, then you can build a freaking bench. You don't have to be a professional to do that, and that's what we've talked about on the channel before. I'm not really a professional anything. I think I do okay at a bunch of stuff, and that's why I try to do as much of my own stuff as I can. If you're a carpenter and you saw me screw up, I'm sorry, but I am very proud of this bench. This bench is solid, it's going to hold a lot of weight, and if you need me to prove that, I'll wait till it dries, and then I'll stand on top of it and tap dance. That should be fun. Look forward to that. Look forward to additional videos forthcoming. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Let's get back to work as soon as we can, and we'll see you on the next one.